I also like you to respond to something we heard from Ryan Crocker, of course, former ambassador to Iraq and to Afghanistan. He said that this group, ISIS, is actually more formidable than Al Qaeda was under bin Laden at the time of September 11th. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I don't have a personal assessment to share. I think the president was pretty clear in when he spoke from this podium on Thursday about his concern about the potential for violence that ISIL has already demonstrated. They have used some pretty terrible tactics. There have been reports of massacres of some Iraqi troops. So there's no doubt that this is a group that has some violent tendencies and is the subject of some concern here. That's why the president has laid out a pretty specific strategy for trying to contain that threat and to deal with it. But it hinges on some important political steps that need to be taken by the Iraqi government.
There's no question they have some violent tendencies and they are problematic, but Crocker suggesting, and others, something much more, that they now have access to resources that Al Qaeda never had previously, financial resources, access to weapons, which suggests, some are saying maybe the most formidable terrorist threat we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounds like something much more than what you just described, violent tendencies.
Yeah, I'm not in a position to make that personal assessment, but I think that what you've seen from this administration, from this president, is a response that's commensurate with the threat that's posed by this group, and it is. I mean, I guess I would say that some of our strategy for dealing with this threat, John, is beefing up our intelligence resources to make sure that we are keeping a close eye on what's happening over there and what that group is up to, because of the threat that they may pose.
Given that threat, does the president regret what he said to David Remnick in the New Yorker, talking about the Al Qaeda affiliates being like the JV team, and saying just because you put on Lakers jersey doesn't mean you're Kobe Bryant? Mm-hmm. Does the president regret talking so cavalierly about the threat posed by groups like this, offshoots of Al Qaeda?
Mm-hmm. No, he does not, and the reason for that is just is simple.
This is not a JV team, though, right? I mean, what we're seeing in Iraq.
Well, I think that there's an assessment underway to figure out exactly how significant of a threat